Good morning. Happy Monday. Jumping on right at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on the dot. If I am ever a minute or two late, just FYI for anybody that might be listening already, the Amazon Live app will not actually launch my stream until, or let me like even hit the button to launch the stream until it is 11 a.m. on the dot. And then, of course, it's got to like load and think about it. So sometimes I'm not jumping on until like 11:01. So if that ever happens, fear not, I am here. I'm just having to wait until I can actually start talking to you. Um, so this is very exciting. As soon as I hopped on here today, I already see that we have a new follower. So Angelica, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so if at any time, guys, there you have trouble seeing me, if you have trouble hearing me, if I freeze or something cuts out, be sure and let me know in the chat so that I can fix it as soon as I possibly can. So when we do these 11 a.m. live streams, which is our new time slot, for any of you that were with us kind of when we transitioned from evening time, the Kia Babies team, kind of our tech team behind the scenes, they are based in Singapore. So it is actually the middle of the night for them right now. So it means that it's just me here hanging out with you guys. So if there's ever an issue, let me know as quickly as you can in the chat, because if I'm talking, I don't always realize it. And I'll do my best to get it sorted out as quickly as I can. Good morning, Victoria. Hi. Me, Pra. Good morning. Hello. Serene. Hey, welcome back. Joni Marie started following. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. I always spend the first few minutes just kind of chatting, seeing how you guys are doing. Let me know if there's anything you want to share about your weekend. Drop it in the chat. It just kind of gives our regular viewers time to get logged on and get all settled in. And then, of course, if there's anybody just out in Amazon Live land looking for something to watch, it gives them a few minutes to find us as well. So I don't jump into the nitty gritty right away. I always give just kind of a few minutes to help get ourselves sorted a little bit. Really excited about today's stream. We are talking about baby sleep essentials. And so, of course, we are obviously going to be talking about the amazing Kia Babies products that I use with my own daughter, who is 19 months old now, to help us get the best night's sleep we possibly can, help us with those naps, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we're going to be talking about those products, but for anyone that doesn't know, and I might repeat this a couple of more times, just as more people jump on, I am currently in training to become a certified pediatric sleep specialist. And it is really fascinating work. Something I didn't really even realize existed or had never really thought of, the fact that there was a big need for until I became a mom. And my daughter's sleep was really kind of difficult in the beginning and was a really triggering thing for me as a new mom. So we're going to be talking a lot about just sleep in general during this stream, and I'm going to be kind of imparting whatever wisdom I have with you. I do want to just say up front that if you are expecting that there are going to be these like magical sleep tips that are going to just suddenly make your baby sleep through the night, like a magic bullet type thing, that doesn't really exist. So what we're going to do today is really just level set realistic expectations for infant and toddler sleep. Talk about some things that you can, troubleshoot or optimize to help your baby get as much sleep as their little body is capable of getting, depending on where they are developmentally. And then, as I said, of course, we're going to talk about the Kia Babies products that can, really be game changers for you in helping your child get more sleep. And helping you get more sleep. So the focus of my training is using kind of attachment principles and practices, responsive parenting practices in optimizing baby sleep. So meaning I personally do not do any cry it out or your kind of traditional sleep training that has really kind of become a big thing in our culture, and that you'll see a lot of online and social media. Maybe even your pediatricians are recommending that you do it. And if that's something you want to try with your baby and you find that they respond well to it and it works, I have nothing against it. I'm not anti sleep training or anti cry it out at all by any means. But I do just want to make you aware that depending on your baby's temperament, it doesn't work for every baby. It doesn't work for every family. It doesn't feel good for every parent. And so, if you are looking for kind of a different way to help support your child's sleep as it kind of develops naturally in its own time and its own rhythm, there are ways to do that. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. So, feel like that was a lot that I threw at you all of a sudden. And I haven't looked at the chat in just a second, so I'm not even sure who is even with us listening to this. Gina, good morning. Okay, good, good, good. So you guys, seems like you're finding us okay. Everybody is jumping on, can hear me and see me okay. That's fantastic. Victoria, absolutely went with the flow of your baby and it's been good so far. Most of the time, I actually find that's like the single most helpful thing that you can do is really just follow your kids' cues. It's not always going to be like the most convenient thing for us and our schedules and our sleep needs, which are also important. But yeah, a lot of times, like our babies kind of are telling us what they need and when they need it, and we just have to tune in and kind of follow that. And I find that that can actually, be really successful in getting your kid to get their best sleep. So 100%, just kind of following your baby's rhythm. Okay, so let's talk about I'll do just a quick list off the items that we are going to talk about today. Just this kind of helps me keep myself on track. And then that way, if I were to like jump around and I said we were going to talk about the sleep sacks and then I forget, somebody can go, oh, Julia, can you talk about the sleep sack? So we're gonna like keep each other on track here. So we are going to talk about Kia Baby's Swaddle wraps. Which if you are someone who is swaddling your baby or you are expecting a baby and you plan that you are going to swaddle, which you don't have to, and we'll talk about, but it can be really, really helpful, really useful. And the Kia Baby Swaddle Wrap is 100% my favorite baby swaddle on the market. So I'm excited to talk about that one. So swaddle wraps, then we will talk about transitioning to a sleep sack. Again, a sleep sack is also something that you can use just right from the beginning if your baby is not responsive to the swaddle or you just don't like dealing with it. So we'll talk about sleep sacks, and then we're going to talk about their fitted crib sheets. Again, my favorite set of crib sheets on the market are the Kia Babies one, and we'll talk about why and all of that. And then we're going to talk about toddler pillows. So again, we're kind of going to sort of go in developmental order with starting with the swaddle wraps. Obviously, we're going to be talking about babies who are newborns or in that kind of fourth trimester period in the first 3 or 4 months. We'll start there and then we'll progressively move our way up to talking about toddler sleep. So yeah, housekeeping stuff I'll go ahead and jump in with because I have been chatting for about 10 minutes now. The number one thing that you can do for me and something that is just super, super helpful in helping us grow this awesome community that we've kind of established here on Amazon Live is to make sure you're following us, like and share this live stream to your personal social media channels. If you find it helpful, if you have other, parents or parent-to-be friends in your lives that you think would also find it helpful or would just like to hang out with us on Mondays, please share it because again, that helps us grow and that just makes this all the more enjoyable for everybody. I think if you're somebody who's kind of been returning week after week, you've seen that like our community is really fun. It's supportive. We keep everything really lighthearted. It's very interactive, but also I like to think informative. So if you enjoy this and you would like to share it, please do that. As always, we are on all of the other major social media channels. So if Instagram is your thing, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, you can find us there. It's just going to be at Kia Babies. We're doing totally separate things over there as well. Like Instagram, we have separate, giveaways, little games that we play, chances for you guys to win things or like get your picture or your story shared on our social media channels. We have a Facebook group, kind of a parenting community that is moderated by the Kia Babies team. So if you are kind of looking for a parenting community where you can just jump on at any time, whether there's a live stream happening or not, and chat with other parents or chat with Kia Babies, you're able to do that via the Facebook group. So yeah, I always like to mention that. And then, as always, when you tune into these live streams with us and you decide to shop with us over the course of the live stream, you get a discount for doing that. It is our way of saying thank you for hanging out and supporting the brand and just making this a really, really enjoyable thing that we do. So everything that we talk about today is going to be 10% off if you shop either during the duration of this live stream or up to 1 hour past the end. And these go about an hour and 10 minutes. And I will, of course, let you know when we're getting ready to sign off. And all you have to do to take advantage of the discount is shop. So you'll just add the items that you're interested in to your cart. And as long as, it's within the time frame, either the live stream is still going on or it's within 1 hour of the end of the stream, that 10% off is just going to automatically come off of your total. So that's how that works. Everything that I talk about is browsable in the carousel below this video. So if you want to skip ahead to something and just gonna kind of go ahead and shop on your own, you can absolutely do that. Or you can follow along. Or like, let's say I start talking about the Swaddles and you want to see, a certain color closer up on your screen, or you want to see some details that maybe I didn't cover about it, just click on the item in the carousel below. So that's how that works. Just a really easy, streamlined way for you to shop. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. And then, as always, we have a giveaway going for you today. So one lucky viewer/follower is going to go home with a set of the Kia Baby fitted crib sheets in this ABC pattern here. So let me show it to you up close. Of course, we're going to talk about it in depth once we get there in the stream. But let me just go ahead and show you what it looks like since it is our giveaway item. It is new and it is so stinking precious. I think it's a new favorite. It's in this beautiful shade of gray and then this nice white. And it just has really simple ABC pattern on it with some of the traditional Kia Babies kind of woodland creatures. Again, I'll show you another close-up of that when we actually talk about the crib sheets. But I love them so much. And if that is something you would like to get your hands on for free, enter our giveaway today. And all you have to do to enter the giveaway, to be eligible, is you need to be following us here on Amazon Live. So if you are not already a follower, make sure you hit that follow button. And that makes you eligible. And then to actually enter the giveaway, all you have to do is make your presence known in the chat. Say hi, tell us where you're watching from, participate in the chat if you would like. The more your name pops up in that chat log, the higher your chances are that you'll be randomly selected. And then after we've covered all of the products, it'll be in like the last 5 minutes of the live stream. I'll let you know when it's happening. I will actually go through and I will totally randomly select the giveaway winner. And I will let you know how you can get in touch with us to claim your prize, which is going to be that ABC fitted crib sheet set. So a very nice giveaway item from the Kia Babies team today. Yeah, I think that's all the major stuff. I think we're ready to jump in. Let me just check the chat log really quick. Hello from Texas, Jessica. Hi. Davis. Hi from Florida. Me, you are in Massachusetts. Wyatt watching from Oklahoma. That's awesome. Victoria's in Houston. I love knowing where you guys are. Chris, yes, there is a rainbow print And as soon as I pulled it out of the box, because I just received it last week, it's new, I was like, okay, obsessed. And I wish that my daughter was still sleeping in a crib. She's a toddler now, so she's in her toddler bed. But um, yeah, super excited about the rainbow print. So I'll show you guys that up close. Yeah, I just love when Kia Babies comes out with new prints or colors of anything, because I think they just always really hit the aesthetic stuff out of the park. Um, Sorry, I have a really bad and bizarre patch of sunburn from eating at an outdoor restaurant the other day and not realizing it was happening. And it is just very stingy and itchy. So I really apologize for all the chest touching that may happen without me even realizing it. Okay, so one more time really quick, because I know you guys are tired of just hearing me ramble. You're like, get to the products. I totally get it. We're about to jump in with the Swaddle wraps. Let me just repeat for anybody that might have just jumped on why I'm so excited about this particular stream talking about baby sleep essentials is that I am currently in training to become a certified pediatric sleep specialist. So sleep, baby sleep, toddler sleep, really child sleep all the way up to about 5 years old or so is just really my jam. I'm a total nerd about it. I didn't even realize this was kind of a field of study, or that there was a need for kind of sleep educating, but there absolutely is. And I'm just really excited to talk about some, baby sleep things with you guys today, in addition to talking about the products. So yeah, you will hear kind of my 2 cents on things here and there, and hopefully you find this informative. Again, my focus is based on kind of sleep as a biological developmental thing that we do. We humans have been sleeping for as long as we evolved to be the species that we are. So sleep is something that just happens. You can't really teach it. You can teach good sleep habits. You can teach good sleep hygiene. But your kid will eventually sleep kind of when their individual brain and body is sort of ready for that to happen. Sleep isn't completely behavioral, right? It's not like something that we can be like, okay, I'm going to teach you the steps to go to sleep, and now you sleep when I say you sleep, right? It doesn't work like that. So I don't do any kind of sleep training. I don't personally do cry it out. If that is something that you do and it works for your kid and your family, that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the fact is I feel like that's just kind of taught as the status quo of how we get our kids to get good sleep. And the fact is that based on temperament and genetics and so many things, it doesn't work for every kid. And it can also be really, really stressful for the parents to kind of practice that. So just know that the lens I'm coming from is ways that you can optimize your baby and toddler sleep without sleep training or cry it out. So just throwing that out there. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about are the Kia Babies Swaddle wraps. So I will say that the Kia Babies Swaddles are 100% my favorite ones on the market for a few reasons. First of all is that they are super easy to use. So I don't know how many like swaddle experts there are out there. Let me tell you, when my daughter was born, and I was trying to get the hang of that, just kind of putting the muslin blanket out, and then you fold this corner into the triangle, and then you tuck this arm and all of that. Geometry was like not my thing ever in school, and that became really apparent when I tried to learn how to properly swaddle my baby. So for me, anything that kind of takes that sort of technicality, kind of difficulty out of swaddling is definitely the one that I'm going to go with. So I love how just quick and easy these are to use. And I'm, of course, will show you how they work. And my stand-in baby is going to be Cotton the bunny. I'm not using an actual baby, so we're just going to have to kind of use our imaginations. The second reason I love these so much is that they are so comfortable. 100% organic cotton. So really just the softest thing on the planet, which is so important anytime you're putting, material onto really sensitive baby skin. You want it to be comfortable so that baby doesn't fight it and so that they enjoy using it and will use it. And then, of course, you don't want to be using anything that is going to be abrasive or irritating to baby sensitive skin. And so, again, these are just so silky soft. They are nice and light and breathable. So you don't have to worry about baby getting too hot in these. I absolutely love the material. And then on top of that, the third reason I love them so much is that they are easy to keep clean. You can machine wash them on cold and you can tumble them dry on low, and they're going to keep their shape. The Velcro is still going to stay intact, which is amazing. They, don't become kind of thin and threadbare over time. They're really going to stand up to a lot of washing, which is important because we know that, babies can be messy, right? Um, and the fact that they come in a 3-pack. So it's just like a really cost effective way to get multiple swaddles, right? You just order a single pack and you've got 3 to kind of use interchangeably. And if one is in the wash, you've got 2 more. So just love, love, love them. The shape and design is also really great. As you can see, it kind of does this flare out at the hips and then is tapered around the legs. You want this flare out at the hips because this will prevent hip dysplasia, or it will help prevent hip dysplasia. Essentially, babies need to be able to, so let's say these are their little legs, they need to be able to open and close kind of like a butterfly here. Their hips and legs, they need for their knees to be able to fall apart, to kind of fall to the sides and open up, or, they need to be able to purposefully open them up as much as they want. They need to be able to move their legs so that their hip kind of joints and ligaments can all develop properly. So you don't want anything that is kind of very restrictive in this area, that is really, really form fitting. Obviously, you want your swaddle to be snug, but you want to make sure that around this area, the middle and the hips, there is, good space and that baby is able to open and close those legs as they need to. So Kia Babies has thought about this in the design, and you'll see, like, if I open it up, you can kind of see it even better, just how much kind of space there is around that hip area. See how that kind of flares out around the hips. So another reason that I really, really love it, it takes the guesswork out of that. Like, did I wrap it too tight? Are their legs okay? It just eliminates some of that anxiety around it. So yes, let's talk about swaddling kind of in general, why parents like to do it, why they do it to your baby as soon as they're born in the hospital, ways that it can help with sleep, some of the benefits of swaddling. So babies find it really comforting to be like held close, right? That's why babies kind of seek out close proximity to you. They enjoy snuggles. They enjoy being held. That's just very regulating to their nervous system. They also have something called the Moro reflex, which is that startle that babies do. And we, all have that startle reflex, or that when we're falling asleep at night and sometimes you get that falling sensation and you jerk your legs and you catch yourself. It's that, except that in babies, because it is new and it's just starting to fire and it's firing constantly so that it can develop, it's very dramatic and very pronounced. Like, it literally can look like this kind of thing. And that can be disturbing to sleep. If baby is trying to drift off, or you're trying to get them to kind of settle down and get into that nice sleepy state, and suddenly totally, their body just kind of acts against them and they do this all of a sudden, they're not sure why they just did that. It can cause fussing, it can cause crying, and it can kind of disrupt that nice sleepy state that you were just trying to achieve. So parents do find swaddling really helpful around sleepy times, right? At naps, or at night, before a long stretch of night sleep. And they can be really comforting to babies, especially sort of sensitive temperament babies, babies that have a little bit more trouble kind of getting regulated and getting calm. something like the swaddle that just like hugs them nice and tight uh, can feel especially regulating to them. A caveat to that is that the moro reflex, that thing that you're kind of trying to prevent around sleep times, that startle reflex, it's there for a reason. It's a survival mechanism. Again, it's why we still have it, right? It's baby's fight or flight. Here's the thing, you want that to develop, you want them to have that intact, right? And you want their body to be able to practice it as much as it needs to for it to integrate and work properly. You don't always want it to fire like when you close a door or open a trash bag, or some of the things that kind of will set off a small baby's moro reflex. The only way to kind of get it to work properly the way that it's meant to is to let it fire, right? To let it develop, to let it happen. So obviously the swaddle is preventing that. So what I will say about using a swaddle is if you find it helpful at sleep times, it can be amazing. It's an amazing tool. Use it for those times. However, when baby is awake, even if they are being super fussy and you're thinking they're not ready for sleep, but like I don't know how else to calm them down. Should I put them in the swaddle? A lot of times on the internet, you'll see that recommended. Personally, I don't recommend doing that. I just hold them close. Do something like baby wearing. Do tummy time with them, because when they are awake and active, that moro reflex, that startle reflex, really needs to be just doing its thing and firing. And it does, again, kind of upset some babies because they're not sure why they just did this full body jerk and it feels weird. So it might make them upset, but that is okay. They're just upset because it's surprise to them. That's all. During wake times, you don't need to suppress that moro reflex. So I just want to throw that little bit of information out there when talking about the swaddle, because I think it's really important. Another thing to note about the swaddle is while it is very, very successful for a lot of babies, do enjoy it. They like the warmth. They, again, like that kind of nice, tight hug feeling. Some babies just don't. And so if you have a baby that's not responding really well to the swaddle and they're just really good at always getting their arms out and they're always fighting it, don't fight against them. They might have a sensory preference that they were just kind of born with that they can't communicate to you, and you may not even be aware of, that really just makes that dysregulating to them. So you're kind of like, it's now counterproductive to try and force them into a swaddle. So if that's something that they're not responding to, don't feel like you have to swaddle. Again, kind of go by your baby's cues and only use it. Again, it's an amazing tool. I swaddled my daughter. It was really successful for us. Again, they'll do it to your newborn in the hospital, and you'll find that it's really calming and relaxing for them, and can kind of allow them to get some rest in the beginning and you to get some rest in the beginning. Swaddles are great, but again, if your child's not responding to it, don't feel like, oh, do I have to swaddle? Is this like necessary to my baby's health? It's not. And there is another option, which is a sleep sack, which we're going to talk about next. Just going to talk about some swaddle safety, and then I'll show you an example of how to put baby into this particular swaddle. I'll show you the colors and patterns up close, and then we'll move on to talking about our sleep sack. Okay, so some swaddle safety stuff. You, of course, want to make sure that if you are going to have baby swaddles, they are in close proximity to you. So if you decide to move baby into a separate sleep space from you earlier than the recommended kind of American Academy of Pediatrics, between the 6 months and ideally 1 year, baby would be sleeping in your room with you somewhere. If for whatever reason you decide for your family that you are going to transition baby to a separate room earlier than that, ideally, optimally, baby should not be swaddled. You should switch to a sleep sack. And that's just because if your baby magically somehow is able to get themselves into kind of a funky position where their face is covered up, if they roll earlier than you were expecting them to be able to, they do not have their arms free to kind of remove themselves from that situation. And then you may not know about it or hear it because they are in a separate room, and it increases the risk of SIDS death. So, which of course that is sudden infant death syndrome, which we want to avoid at all costs. So if baby is not in your room sleeping with you, the swaddle is not ideally safe. Or of course, if you have them like napping in a separate room and you've got the monitor on and you're, checking on them, or you are making sure that you're actively listening, that is fine. It's just they can't be totally kind of unsupervised in a swaddle. So just make sure you note that. You only want to use the swaddle up to about 3 or 4 months. And this actually says that it is designed to fit about that age range comfortably. And the reason for that is that at about the 4 month mark, that's kind of the earliest that baby may start attempting to roll. They become interested in being able to move their body in, different ways and have some control over their movement. And they may start practicing that. And sometimes they will be successful, right? So babies absolutely can start rolling around the 4 month mark. My daughter rolled for the first time at 5 months. So luckily we were already out of the swaddle by then. But again, I think it was like to the day she hit 5 months, she accomplished rolling over in her crib all by herself. So again, it's that kind of suffocation risk that you would worry about. As soon as baby is able to do that, to flip themselves onto their tummy, you want to make sure that they have their arms free to be able to push their face away from the mattress if they were to do that and then realize that it's difficult for them to breathe. So we should discontinue the swaddle by about 3 or 4 months. You can just kind of know your baby and use your judgment on that one. Layering with the swaddle, you don't want baby to overheat. So you want to keep them in kind of nice, cool, breathable clothes underneath. So using something like fleece or wool, if you have, onesie sets or pajama sets with feet or something like that for your baby that are made of those two materials, those don't breathe very well and they're not very moisture wicking. So it is entirely possible that baby would get too hot in a material like that. Then on top of that, underneath a swaddle. So just make sure you're keeping things like nice and light and breathable. Again, cotton is, you can't go wrong with cotton if you're going to have them in a swaddle overnight. And then as always, you will lay baby to sleep on a nice, flat, firm sleep surface. Always laying them down on their back. As soon as they have the ability themselves to roll onto their tummies, you don't have to like stay up all night worrying about, okay, but they're supposed to sleep on their back, so do I need to roll them over? Once they have that capability themselves, they are now kind of cognitively ready to regulate themselves as far as if they were to get in a position on their tummy and they're like, I don't like this and it's difficult to breathe, they register that themselves and they'll just flip themselves back over. But in the beginning, you never want to lay baby down on their side to sleep or on their tummies, especially swaddled. Never, ever, ever. So always back is best. So those are the safety things. Let me just show you how easy this swaddle is to use, because as I said, it's my favorite thing about it. It already kind of comes designed exactly how you need it to fit baby nicely. See that nice kind of burrito shape that it already has. It includes a pocket for baby's legs, so you don't even have to worry about wrapping those. So I'm going to just take cotton. I'm going to put his legs into the little pocket. Make sure this tab is up. You want it to hit baby about right here. We're going to tuck their arms. Take this, see how there's a rectangle Velcro strip here, that matching one, which you may not be able to see super well, but in person, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a matching strip here. That's how you know that this side goes down first. And then you're going to take this side with the two Velcro tabs and close it. And of course, it looks like I'm strangling Cotton the bunny. That is because he is not really the size, shape, or weight of an actual newborn baby. But you get the gist, right? So that's what it will look like there. And did you see how quick and easy that was? Like everything is just kind of already pre-designed for you to just contour to baby nicely. The steps are very intuitive. You're just matching Velcro to Velcro. And then you know that baby is nice and snug and safe and comfy. So again, just like the easiest swaddle wrap to use if you are expecting a baby and you are going to swaddle them, from the get. I would absolutely pack this in my hospital bag. And, because like you won't always have your nurses in there to come in and do the, traditional swaddle for you. So if, uh, this looks like it's going to be your kind of swaddle, I would absolutely pack this in my hospital bag, and you can use it from the very beginning. It is designed to fit babies 0 to about 3 to 4 months. So that is the swaddle wrap. Okay, so let's talk about sleep sacks. So if you don't know what a sleep sack is, well, I'll show you Kia Baby Sleep Sack. And I will say that for my daughter, and she is still in a sleep sack at 19 months old, the thing that really, really helped kind of get her sleeping, she used to fight her sleep sack really hard. It was like she couldn't sleep without one. She wasn't old enough for a blanket, even a light blanket, nor did she really like having a like full body blanket over her. And if she would like turn over or something and the blanket would kind of get weird, that she would just get so angry, and scream out for us to come and fix her blanket. It was a struggle, but at the same time, like her sleep sack, same thing. If her sleep sack was at all ill-fitting, um, and she would turn over and like it would get wrapped around her legs, or it would do something weird or uncomfortable at the straps, she would just become a mess. It would really piss her off, which I completely understand. And of course, she would scream for us, and I would have to go in there and just kind of readjust her sleep sack. And then she was able to go back to sleep. But that was exhausting for me, right? So it was like, okay, I understand that, baby sleep it's not perfect, and it's totally normal for you to be waking several times a night. But I feel like the sleep sack just pissing you off is like something that we could do something about, right? And you don't have an actual need, you just don't like your sleep sack. So I was really, really thrilled to receive and start using the Kia Baby Sleep Sack, because we just, again, that fit, that contour, the ease of use, it really, really worked for her. She found it really comfortable. Once it's on, it allows baby to move, but it kind of stays put and moves with baby's body. It doesn't get like wrapped around the legs, stuff like that. It just fits really, really well. And it's so soft. Again, it's light and breathable, so she's not getting too hot in the night. It just really was a game changer for us. So this is a sleep sack, and it is essentially just a wearable blanket, because the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that you not have any sort of blanket or a pillow either, or anything like that in baby sleep space until they are at least 12 months old. And, you can get away with even, waiting until later than that, because it's potentially a suffocation risk. But, baby is now transitioned out of the swaddle because they're rolling. So it's like, how do I keep my baby warm at night? Of course, a great option is to make sure they're in warm jammies, but, as we know, that's not always enough. Plus, a lot of us, I just find having a blanket just comforting, right? So I always sleep with at least a light blanket, even if it's not necessarily to keep me warm. It's just, I kind of like having it on my body and that kind of feeling of security, and it's soft and it's comfortable. So if you are looking for that kind of in between a normal quilt, blanket, whatever, what your toddler will end up sleeping with until till the day they die, in between that and a swaddle, a sleep sack, is really going to be your jam. So again, my 19-month-old daughter still sleeps in one, and we love the Kia Babies one. Talking about the swaddle, again, if you just choose for whatever reason that you don't want to swaddle baby, or you just have a baby that really is just not on board with it, they don't like the feeling of the swaddle, and they're not responding well to it, there is absolutely nothing unsafe or weird or wrong about just going straight into a sleep sack. They make newborn size sleep sacks, and actually, I think this is the smaller one, made by Kia Babies. And your baby might respond better to this. Again, it's just a way to kind of keep them nice and warm and just comfortable and comforted during the night to help them get sleep. So this sleep sack, again, all kind of similar things to the swaddle. The reason that I love it, the 100% cotton is so soft. So again, it's not going to be irritating or uncomfortable for baby. You don't have to worry about it touching their sensitive skin. It is light and breathable, so it's going to provide just like the right amount of warmth for baby overnight, but they are not going to get sweaty, hot, clammy, and uncomfortable. And you don't have to worry about overheating, which is another SIDS risk. You don't have to worry about any of that with this. And something I like to do with anything that is going to be on my baby's body that could potentially come near their face or anything like that, or just to know that it's getting good airflow and is going to be comfortable for them. I do something called the breath test. So you'll just put it up to your mouth and nose, take a deep breath in. You want to make sure that is nice and easy to do. And then you want to blow it out and make sure that you can actually feel the air on the other side. That's how you know that it is optimally kind of light and breathable. And this passes with flying colors. So love this. It's easy to take care of and keep clean. You can just wash it with your normal laundry. You machine wash on cold. You can tumble it dry on low. Again, it's not going to lose its shape. It's not going to become less comfortable. It's not going to lose any quality, anything like that. So definitely stands up to multiple washing. I actually love the fact that this has snaps at the shoulders instead of Velcro, just because you're probably using a sleep sack on maybe an older baby or a toddler who now has full control of their arms, and they're kind of, moving all around like crazy people. And the Velcro can just kind of become unattached, fairly easily. Or as they roll around in their bed or crib at night, it's the Velcro might tend to come undone. So I love the fact that these have metal snaps, which means that, once it's on, it's staying on, which is really important. And so something I want to mention about these snaps, which I think was really conscientious on Kia Baby's part, and I love, is that they are nickel free. So if this comes into contact with baby skin, nickel is a really common irritant or allergy for young kids. I actually still to this day have a nickel allergy, so I have to be careful about jewelry that I wear, buttons on clothes and things like that. These are nickel free, so you don't have to worry about that if that is just something you deal with your kid. So love that. They are also size adjustable, these shoulder straps. So as you can see, if baby needs a little bit more space, you'll kind of put it on that taller setting. And then if they need a little less space and you want it a little more snug in the shoulders, you just move the button down. So, no matter what kind of size, there are 3 sizes of this sleep sack. No matter what size your baby kind of fits into, where they are developmentally, just know that even within that size, you still have kind of customizable options to make it a really just comfortable, perfect fit for your kid, which again is another reason why I just loved this so much for my daughter. And we were just able to make it fit her really well, so she wasn't kind of fighting with it in the night. This shape, again, you can kind of see that Kia Babies has kept in mind that there needs to be good movement through the hips and the torso area. You want this to bow out at the legs because, up here is where we want them to feel nice and snug and secure and kind of feel that little bit of pressure from the sleep sack on their chest that just helps keep them warm and comforted and all of that. But again, they need to be able to freely move their legs and definitely be able to open and close their hips because, again, we are still worried about hip dysplasia, right? So these are perfectly designed for that. So you are not going to have to worry about hip dysplasia with these, which I love. And it's just another thing that makes it super comfortable because, my toddler daughter, especially like now that she has free range of motion and she's in control of her movement, she definitely does not want her legs restricted in any way, right? She wants to be able to even kind of kick her legs inside the sack if she wants to, move them however she wants. So she's able to do that in this sack, which I love. So let's talk about how easy it is to kind of put on and take off. And that is because it zips around the perimeter of the sack. So let me show you what I'm talking about with that. I don't know if you just saw how I opened that up, but see the zipper kind of follows the outside. Instead of being your kind of traditional sleep sack that zips just straight down the middle. This is great because it will open entirely. It really does just kind of open up like a vest. This almost reminds me of like my Girl Scout vest, right? You put baby in it and they are able to kind of, you can position them how you think is going to be preferable or comfortable to them. They can kind of move around in it how they want, and then once you've got them how you want them, you can just close it around them, and it just forms to their shape really, really nicely. So it is so, so easy to get them into. There's not a lot of fighting, because when you just have just the straight zipper down the middle, and usually they're like actually attached here, it doesn't unzip all the way open like that. So you just have this kind of very limited space where it will open up, and you've got to kind of maneuver and tuck baby into it. Sometimes there's some wrestling with that, especially if you're putting a toddler into one of these. So I just love how easy this is, and how big it opens up, and just how much space there is. And then the fact that it kind of zips around her body again is what makes that perfect kind of fitting like a glove thing that this has going on, which has made her significantly more comfortable in the night. Okay, so again, this is going to be for, you can use a sleep sack from the very beginning if you choose not to swaddle. So nothing wrong, unsafe, or weird about a newborn baby starting out in a sleep sack. But a lot of parents do choose to use the swaddle in the beginning for those first 3 or 4 months. So typically you're going to be using your sleep sack from like 4 months on all the way up to like 36 months, I think is like the largest size sleep sack I've seen. So that's going to be for a 3-year-old. Because again, having like a loose blanket in the bed, it's not safe for the smaller ones, but even as you get an older toddler, and it is perfectly safe for them to have loose bedding in the bed, a lot of them just don't like it as much, right? They're kind of like not used to it. And they still sort of like that fitted, snuggly, comforted feeling of a sleep sack, which is totally, totally biologically and developmentally normal. And I did just want to talk about that a little bit. So if you have a toddler who is still wakeful in the night, I think we have this kind of idea that by the time a baby is a year old, they should be sleeping through the night. They should no longer kind of have a need for us in the middle of the night. And that just really isn't realistic. So if you look from a neurological perspective, like looking at a child's brain, infancy actually lasts up until age 3. So think of like your kid's brain is still undergoing so much rapid development. Some kids won't even have a developed like mechanism for being able to consistently leak sleep cycles until they're about 3 years old. So, and this is not to scare you of being like, yes, your baby's not going to sleep for 3 freaking years. I'm not saying that. It's just, if you are one of those parents out there who has a baby or toddler that is kind of not fitting into those typical like, okay, well, like my toddler still like needs me at night to help them drift off to sleep. I actually like stay and sing to them and rub their back until I know they're dead asleep, and then I sneak out. I'm still doing that just like I did when they were an infant and I was putting them in their crib at night. Or, they wake a couple of times a night, and sometimes they need water, or sometimes they need a snuggle, or sometimes they want their nightlight on. We're not getting full like 12-hour nights full of sleep, and you're feeling like, is that abnormal? Do I need to teach them how to sleep? Am I doing something wrong? Just know that from a biological perspective, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's still totally, totally normal. More toddlers than parents are admitting are still waking in the night, or are still difficult to put down to sleep at night, sometimes more so. Toddlers will fight sleep in a way that infants don't necessarily do. So just know that that is all very, very normal. And again, is a reason why using a sleep sack all the way up until like 3 or so years old can be really helpful, just because it kind of gives some of that sensory input that's really comforting to a toddler, and can kind of help them get longer stretches of sleep without needing to call out to you for a snuggle or something, right? Which, but if they are, and, you want to go in and snuggle your child, please, please do that. It's so, so, so normal. So I just wanted to put that out there. Some things to keep in mind about baby sleep before we kind of transition to, we're going to talk about crib sheets, and then, a toddler pillow. So we're kind of getting into those kind of older age ranges now. So before I close this off, I did just want to say, infants up to about 12 months old, and I think this is kind of where that infant should sleep through the night, starting at 12 months old, kind of myth came from, is that up until about 12 months old, please keep in mind that a normal sleep cycle for a baby, where they kind of go into that, your cycle is how you start out in your drowsy state, where you're feeling sleepy and like, yeah, I could sleep, but obviously you don't just immediately pass out, right? You're kind of down regulating yourself. You're allowing yourself to drift off into sleep. Your sleep starts out actually really light. So like if your partner or something were to come into the room and, make a noise when you're in that state, you're immediately going to wake up, right? Because you can still kind of hear and things like that. So you're in a very light stage of sleep. You may even start to like kind of dream a little bit. Then you enter into your really deep states of sleep where it's like, really restorative, and it's much harder for things to wake you. Someone could come in and out of the room. A thunderstorm could happen outside and it's not necessarily going to wake you. You get that deep sleep. Then you start to come out of it and you come back into that light sort of phase. And then you will actually wake up. So even if you don't consciously realize that you're doing it as an adult, you are waking up sporadically throughout the night. Every time you kind of cycle through and you get back into that light stage of sleep. The reason for that is that evolutionarily speaking, we are still like hunter gatherers living in caves and forts and tents that we built, right? And we have to kind of scan our environment throughout the night to make sure, okay, are there any predators nearby? Is my family still nearby? Our biology really hasn't caught up to the way that we live now. So it's a survival mechanism that we have that causes us to have those wakeful periods. So when you come into another wakeful period, you kind of do that thing of like, am I too hot? Am I comfortable? Is my partner here? Do I hear my kid? No. Do I need to go to the bathroom? Am I thirsty? You don't realize that you're cycling through all of those things in your mind. Sometimes you're aware of it. Or, you're looking at the clock and like, okay, I still have an hour of sleep type thing. But you're not always aware of it. So you might think that you have, it's normal and good and healthy to have a totally uninterrupted night of sleep where you just sleep like a log and you never wake up. It's not actually happening. You're just not aware that these little wake ups are happening because you're good at putting yourself back into a deep state of sleep. Babies and kids are not good at that yet, right? And that comes with time. You can't teach it. And that's something that in their brains and their bodies develops to allow them to be able to physiologically put themselves back to sleep. So of course, if a baby sleep cycle is only about 40 minutes long, every 40 minutes they're waking up, and they're not always going to signal to you because they might do that little scan and be like, yeah, things are fine. So I'm just going to keep laying here until I fall asleep again. But if they have any little bit of discomfort, or they, are kind of surprised by the fact that they've woken up and they're not really sure how to put themselves back to sleep, they're going to call out for you. They're going to cry. They're going to signal to you. They're going to let you know they're hungry, et cetera, et cetera. So just know that having a really, really wakeful baby and you feel like you're doing like hourly wakes or sometimes every 30 minutes, that's pretty normal because a baby sleep cycle, again, is only 40 minutes long because that's all the sleep they need at a time, right? Because they're sleeping so frequently. So just know that a wakeful baby is normal. It's a healthy, biologically normal baby. So then when we move into 12 months and then into toddlerhood, those sleep cycles times kind of elongate to match adult sleep cycles, which are about 90 minutes. So every 90 minutes, you are waking up just a little bit, whether you realize it or not. So is your toddler or your older baby. And if they don't sense that anything is wrong and they want to keep sleeping, they're going to go back to sleep without ever alerting you. But if there is the slightest sensation that they don't like, inconvenience to their life, any bit of anxiety where it's like, hey, is my mom still close by? Again, when they hit that kind of 90-minute mark, they are going to, and they feel like they need to signal to you, they're going to. And again, this will continue until they're about 3 years old. And then, of course, moving on from there, you can have all kinds of things like things that happen during their school day or things like that that might affect sleep as well. So just know that it is so, so normal for kids to sleep like crap. Right. And so all we can do is kind of the kind of products that we introduce like into their sleep environment and their sleep habits. You want to make sure those are, conducive to a good night's sleep. You want to make sure that like their, room is conducive to a good night's sleep. Most kids need a really dark room to sleep, or when they move into toddlerhood and start fearing the dark, they might need a small nightlight to make them feel safe enough to sleep through the night. They need a room that is, a comfortable temperature, so between 68 degrees and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, those are the things that you need to be looking at. Maybe they need white noise. If there's like a household noise or street noise or a pet barks in the night or something like that that is keeping them awake, those are the things that are going to help your baby and your kid kind of learn how to sleep, and is going to make them comfortable enough to get good sleep, right? That's really all we can do. Okay, so sorry to go off on a tangent. I told you this would happen. I warned you because like sleep is just kind of my area. Um, and I just love talking about it so much. And I find like it's just tends to be a really stressful, like triggering thing for so many parents. And we just need to like normalize the heck out of it, right? And talk about like, how is your kid sleeping? How's your kid supposed to be sleeping from a biological developmental, perspective? Are there things I can do to like make it better? Are there things I can do for me to get, more restful sleep, even if I'm only sleeping in, 2-hour chunks because my baby's awake? How can I make those really, really restful for me? Things like that. So I love talking about sleep. I think we need to like learn more about it and talk more about it. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, but so let's move on to talking about the fitted crib sheet. I know I keep saying this, but this is so true. I'd say like every product of Kia Babies is my favorite on the market. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be using their products, which is how I even got, connected to the brand to do this in the first place. Was I was using the products for my daughter and then I was reviewing them on social media because I was just so over the moon about them. The fitted crib sheet is my favorite crib sheet on the market for several reasons, and we'll talk about it. So the one I'm going to show you up close is the ABC set here, just because it is our giveaway item. And so let me remind you really quickly that we are doing a giveaway. If you follow us here on Amazon Live, that makes you eligible for the giveaway. And then all you have to do in order to enter is just participate in the chat. So say hello, just make your presence known. And then once we've covered all of the products in about the last 5 minutes of this stream, I will randomly select a winner and you will be receiving this 2-pack Kia Babies fitted crib sheet in the ABC pattern. So I think with my light, it's a little bit hard to see that super sweet, the bubble ABC letters, and there are some woodland creatures included there. I don't know if the gray comes across as much because it's white lettering on gray, but it is just so, so sweet and adorable. I love this shade of gray. I love how just neutral and nice to look at it is. This is very gender neutral, I feel like. This is going to match any decor. I love, love, love how cute this is. So let's talk about why I love this fitted crib sheet so much. So the material that this is made of is jersey cotton. And if you don't know what jersey cotton is or what it feels like, think of your favorite old t-shirt that like you probably still have from like high school or college, depending on how old you are. That is like still fits enough for you to wear it. It's just like tried and true. You've washed it probably a billion times and it just gets softer and softer, but still keeps its shape. It is just your go-to comfy t-shirt. It is most likely made of jersey cotton. A lot of maternity clothes are made from jersey cotton, just because they know how like nice and light and comfortable it is over your very, uncomfortable pregnant body, how much it breathes. So you're not going to get, super sweaty when you're carrying that extra weight, and you're not going to get overheated and that kind of thing. It stretches really nicely. Just like I love jersey cotton. So imagine having a set of bed sheets that are made from your favorite t-shirt material. Like that sounds like heaven, right? So that's what these crib sheets are made out of. So baby is going to love them. It's going to be super comfortable to lay on, to rub their limbs on, to rub their face into. You don't have to worry about it, again, being irritating on their sensitive skin. I remember when I first transitioned my daughter into her crib, and I don't even remember the brand anymore, but I had a set of crib sheets that I think had been given to me as a gift that were super, super cute. But whatever this material was, it was so scratchy and starchy, and it just never got soft, no matter matter what I did to it. And she would actually wake up the next day with like chafed areas all on her face that really caused her like pain and discomfort that I would have to keep treating with Aqua for. And I finally like realized it's because she's rubbing her face into her crib sheets at night and they're like sandpaper essentially. So just sorry, that was a tangent, but you're not going to have to worry about that with this. They are just buttery, buttery soft. The other thing that they have managed to do, and I really don't know how they've done it, if you feel it in your hands, it feels so, I want to say thick, but I think what I really mean is just high quality, durable. It's going to stand up to lots of wear and tear, lots of washes, lots of, stretching it on and off of the mattress and things like that. Going to stand up to the test of time. Feels really just well made, and feels high end. But at the same time, it is so light and just airy and breathable. So the breath test, I don't even have to do with this, but let me just do it so that I can talk about it. That airflow there is amazing. So not only is this going to be great for ensuring that your baby is not going to overheat in the night while they're using these crib sheets, it's also going to help cut down on mold developing on your mattress, which you may not have even realized was a thing to think about with crib mattresses or toddler beds. But because babies and toddlers, they tend to drool onto their beds. They might be going down right after they've had a feed and they might dribble some milk. They might spit up in their beds. They get sweaty, things like that. A lot of kind of moisture and dampness accumulates on a crib mattress or a toddler bed, and over time that can actually cause the mattress to start molding. So you definitely want to make sure that you are using a crib sheet that is nice and light and breathable, that's getting good airflow to kind of help avoid that. So that's what you're going to get with these for sure. Then the other thing I love about these, and I wish I could show you an example, but I can't, like move a crib mattress in here to show you, but taking these on and off is 2 seconds. So easy. You are not going, and I don't care like what, I'm assuming your mattress is standard size, right? But like what kind of shape or condition your mattress is in that might cause, it to be tough to find like the perfect fit of crib sheet. That kind of like fighting with the corners and then this corner pops up and all of that. You are not going to be doing that with these. And it uses something called snug fit technology, which essentially just means that the way that it's been designed, and then the way that this kind of stitching that they've done around the perimeter, this, the side that kind of hugs the contours of your mattress, it is going to kind of work itself around any shape, any rounded corner, and just mold to it. Like literally will just fit it like a glove. And you're not going to get a lot of kind of excess fabric sort of bunching up or anything like that. I can't explain it. If you have a set at home, please jump in the chat and attest to this, that seriously they are the best fitting crib sheets. And they're just so easy to put on and take off, which, anything that is just kind of one less stressor or headache in, parent life is, great in my book. So love, love, love these crib sheets. And again, they come in a 2-pack. So you're not kind of constantly having to wash them. You have a set, so you can get away with using one for, several days a week. Even, and then when you kind of feel like, all right, it's probably time for a wash, you'll throw that one in the wash, and then you've got another one to immediately just put on. So you can constantly be changing these out. So just love everything about them. I'll show you the ABC pattern one more time because this is our giveaway item. So make sure you are jumping in on the chat and you are following us if you want to win that. And now let me show you up close this precious, precious brand new set. This is a new pattern, new color. I'm a girl mom, so I'm like all about this. I really was not expecting to be that kind of girl mom because I'm typically like a gray, black, white, beige, neutral kind of girl. But then I had a daughter and she just kind of naturally gravitated towards, she just loves sequins and glitter and pink and unicorns. And it's like, girl, I'm actually here for it because I think it's adorable. So I'm really, really excited about this new color and pattern as much as I love the Kia Babies neutrals and how gender neutral they tend to keep everything. I just feel like these are really fun and sweet. So if you have a baby girl in your life, that you think would really love having these on her crib, I can't recommend them enough. Look at these sweet little rainbows. So cute. And then, of course, you've got your pink unicorns and clouds, which I don't know if you can see the clouds, but just so stinking adorable. And I wish actually that my daughter was still in a crib. She's 19 months old, and we have transferred her to she's actually in a floor bed, and it's a full-size floor bed because she does still need a lot of support. That's just who she is as a human being, and I'm okay with it. She needs a lot of support to fall asleep at night. So my husband and I will actually go in there and lie with her. And we just couldn't fit on her crib mattress anymore. It was not comfortable. She was rolling off the side because we were taking up too much space, or we were rolling off the side. Yeah, so we just wanted to really create a sleep space and a sleep surface for her that we could fit on if we needed to. She does still, majority of the week, she's now sleeping through the night, but she does still wake and signal a couple or a few times a week, just depending on what has kind of gone on in her day. All she wants is to know that somebody is near. Sometimes she will just want to snuggle or a back rub. My husband and I are fine with that. We try to, trade off as much as we can and prioritize each other's sleep, to go in there with her and lie down until she falls back asleep. And then this way, it's just comfortable and safe for us to be able to do that on a bigger sleep space for her. And then sometimes, inevitably we end up falling asleep in there with her. And it just means that we can kind of co-sleep comfortably and safely on a bigger sleep surface. So don't even get me started on floor beds. I could deep dive into it. I love them. If you have a child that is having a really hard time with crib transfers, like you're needing to rock or nurse them to sleep, or they start out sleeping next to you, you lie with them in your bed or something like that and kind of comfort them to sleep, and then you transfer them to a crib. And like as soon as they can feel that slight bit of separation or that kind of dip down into the crib, if it's starting to hurt your back, whatever, think about a floor bed. You can get railings for them. There are absolutely safe ways to do it. Maybe I'll cover this in the next time we do sleep stuff because we're kind of running out of time today. But do some research on the internet. It's called a Montessori bed as well. Just do your research about it. It kind of eliminates that need for a transfer, because you can just lie with baby and then you can slide away. And it was a game changer for my daughter. So again, went off on a tangent there, but just trying to sprinkle in little tips of things that might help you. So if crib transfer is difficult, think about a floor bed is what I was getting at. But basically I was saying that I really am kind of bummed now that my daughter is not still on her crib mattress because I want to be able to use these. So if and when baby number 2 comes along, and if she happens to be a girl, or maybe even if it's not a girl, mama's going to use these because these are so precious. Okay. And then, of course, there is the tried and true, before we move on to our last item, which is the toddler pillow. And I'll talk a little bit about setting up a toddler sleep space. I'll try to make it as quick as I can. I hope you guys aren't completely sick of hearing me ramble. I will show you the original OG pattern of crib sheet. This is called Woodland. And it is this really pretty gray with the little tints and the rainbows and the trees. Very, very woodland themed. And then your cute, sweet little animals. Again, very gender neutral, just very neutral in general. This is the OG pattern. If you already own a set of their crib sheets, this is probably the one you have. This is what we used on my daughter's crib when she was still sleeping in a crib. So cute. Can't go wrong with these either. And remember that everything is browsable in the carousel below this video. Colors, patterns. I just realized that I think I might have not shown you what are the swaddle patterns. So just make sure you browse it below in the carousel, and then before we sign off, I'll show you the swaddle colors that I missed. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so let's talk about a toddler pillow before we wrap up. So, the American Academy of Pediatrics does not recommend including any kind of pillow in your child's bedding until they are at least 18 months old. And that's the early side. So, really, their preferable recommendation is starting at 2 years old. If it's something you want to introduce, your child is curious about the pillow on your bed, they want to try sleeping with one, they've asked about it. You notice that for some reason, when they're in their bed, they kind of try to get their head elevated, and you think maybe they would be more physically comfortable because of something in their individual anatomy, where they would like something under their head and neck. Around 18 months to 2 years old, you can start experimenting with a toddler pillow. And of course, you don't have to introduce one in until like your kid is old enough to say like, hey, what's that thing on your bed? Was that called a pillow? Can I try one? Again, there's no like, it's not a health thing if you don't want to give your toddler or baby a pillow. That's totally your preference. But there are some things that you need to keep in mind when you do introduce a pillow. And we actually did start experimenting with using one of the Kia Babies pillows with my daughter when she was 16 months old. So again, I'm telling you the safety guideline, and then also telling you that, to be honest, we were a little on the early side with that. But it was only when my husband and I were kind of in there in her room with her, especially like at nap times. So for a really long time, and really still even now, we will start out kind of in a contact nap with her. She likes for us to just lay next to her, and she likes to like physically be able to feel us there. For when my husband's not doing it during the day, I am. But so like, especially nap time, if I were there to like supervise, I would lay on one of these, and then I would also give her one to lay on, because she seemed to enjoy it. And she was always like scooting herself onto my pillow. So around 16 months, if she was going to be supervised, I would let her sleep with one of these pillows. But again, for optimal safety, if baby's going to be sleeping in their bed by themselves, they don't need a pillow for suffocation reasons until no earlier than 18 months. And really, it's recommended to not start until about 2. Just have to throw that out there. But the things you want to keep in mind with a toddler pillow, and you may be asking yourself, like, do I need a toddler pillow? Like, what even is that? It's a small pillow. Like, can't I just pull a pillow off of my bed? It's just an extra thing I have to buy. While usually I am like, this is kind of a marketing thing, something designed for a toddler is not really necessary. When it comes to a pillow, I actually really do think that it is necessary to purchase a pillow that has been designed with a toddler's body and safety needs in mind. So first of all, this is a standard size toddler pillow, and you can see that it really has been designed to fit optimally, like on a crib mattress or actually inside a crib. And you want to make sure that your pillow fits really well on their sleep surface. You don't want it hanging off the edge. You don't want it to be too big and then like super bunched up. Oddly, like creating these weird crevices and things like that. Between the bed rail and the pillow, just because it's a safety thing, right? You want it to just fit really perfectly, really snug, so that baby can't kind of get underneath it. They can't get it over their face, things like that. They can't, if they're laying on it and it's like kind of overlapping the edge of a bed, and they can just slide right off onto the floor if you're not using a crib rail, things like that. So first of all, that's one reason that you want to consider an actual toddler pillow, because they're designed small, right, to fit in toddler bedding. The other thing is they are a lot more firm and kind of lower profile than probably you or I as adults would find comfortable for a pillow. But there's a reason for this. So obviously the first thing is that you don't want it to be a suffocation hazard. So they don't need a really big, thick, fluffy kind of pillow that they, sink down into. Sometimes like we like sleeping with. But also just the way that their little bodies are designed, and the way that their kind of joints and ligaments and spine and all that is still developing. You don't want anything that is kind of elevating their head, holding their kind of neck in an upright position too much. That's fine for us if we find that comfortable. But again, remember that they're kind of still developing, and there is some research potentially saying that could cause some spine and neck issues mostly discomfort issues kind of later in life as they grow. So you do want to be mindful that their pillow is relatively kind of flat and low profile, and that when you feel it, you're like, oh, this is a little bit firm for my taste. But remember, that's what you want for a toddler. So again, toddler pillows tend to be really low profile. What I love about the Kia Babies pillow in particular is what this pillow is made of inside is a cotton ball fiber. So you can actually even feel it if you just squeeze along. It's essentially ball fibers inside. And why I love that is this helps it keep its shape, right? And helps it kind of be optimally comfortable and nice and molding to your kid's individual anatomy. It makes it a really comfortable pillow. And again, more importantly, it just adds to its longevity because it keeps its shape so well. It just kind of reforms very, very easily. And so, in talking about that, I wanted to talk about how you will keep it clean. This whole thing here, this pillow without the pillowcase, of course, the pillowcase can be washed as well, but you can actually wash this pillow in your washing machine, just like you would do your laundry. You'll put it in a mesh laundry bag. To protect it as much as you can. You'll machine wash it on cold. You can tumble it dry on low heat in the dryer, just like with your other laundry. And then once it's dry and it comes out, because it is that nice ball fiber material, you'll just kind of use your hands, feel around for those balls inside, and fluff them back up with your hands, and it will just inflate to its original size. It does not lose its shape. So love that. Again, easy to take care of, easy to keep clean. Same thing with the pillowcase. You can machine wash this and dry it. So I love that. It is also, because it is a cotton filling, you don't have to worry about kind of potential allergens or irritants. So if you have a goose down pillow, sometimes babies and toddlers can actually get kind of an allergic reaction, can get a little irritated by down. So kind of breathing it in even through their pillow and pillowcase can sometimes cause like red watery eyes, can sometimes cause like a little rash on the face. Not every kid is going to be affected by it, but it is a potential allergen. So you definitely want kind of a non-irritating, non-allergen material inside your toddler pillow, which again is something that the manufacturers of toddler pillows and like the Kia Babies brand has thought of when they are creating it. So just another reason why you do want to consider an actual toddler pillow when you're ready to make that transition. And then I wanted to just point out some really cute little touches that Kia Babies has included. So if your baby goes to daycare and that's where they nap, and they are traveling with their pillow, they have included a little name tag that is just sewn right into the pillowcase. And it says, "This pillow belongs to," and then there's a line for you to be able to write baby's name. So, or even your phone number if it needs to be returned to you or something like that. So just a cute little touch that I really love. This pillowcase, it's one of the ones that is 10% off today. It is called Kia ABC. As you can see, it's the really cute animals with the alphabet. And then this one is a new one, and this one is Kia Safari. And look how sweet that is. I love the nice neutral color. And then you've got lion, giraffe, tiger, elephant, basically all the animals you would see out on safari. So these are the two that are 10% off today. Let me remind you really quick how that works. If you see something that catches your eye and you want to shop, we are going to be wrapping up here in the next couple of minutes. Go ahead and add those things to your cart. You can browse in the carousel below if you need to. Add your items to cart, and then when you check out, the 10% off will just automatically come off. And that deal will last for 1 hour past the end of this live stream. So as soon as I say goodbye and sign off, and we are no longer live, you have 1 hour left to do your shopping to take advantage of that 10% off. If you would like to enter our giveaway, we're giving away a set of crib sheets, the ABC pattern. All you have to do is make sure that you are following us here on Amazon Live and that you are participating in the chat. There's still time to do that. Jump in. And right before we wrap up, I will go through the chat and randomly select a winner, just whoever my finger happens to just point down on, as long as that person is a follower they will be the giveaway winner. And we do this every week or every live stream. Sorry, we have now moved to doing these live streams. We are going to just once a month. I think I forgot to mention that at the top. It just kind of gives us more time to create content for you all to really think about the products that we want to talk about and share with you. And also, we just find that there actually has been a better response when we have decreased the frequency. It kind of makes me sad to think of, but I do feel like maybe the material gets a little bit repetitive for you guys. I don't know. I welcome your feedback about that, but we've just noticed that the viewership is way up when we have done less of them in a month. So we're now doing these the third Monday of every month. And if you would like to go to the Kia Babies website and sign up for their email newsletter, you'll get reminded of when we go live. And then, of course, if you're following us here on Amazon Live will notify you as well. So I wanted to throw that out there. And then really quick, before we do our giveaway, the Swaddle wraps that I did not show you. And I really, really regret this because it's new and I want you to be aware of it. And I love it. I think it's so stylish and super cute. Will make a great gift because it is so nice and neutral and gender neutral. If you have a baby shower that you're shopping for, this is another one of the new Swaddle wrap sets. And this is just like a heathered gray. Then you have this nice dark gray. Again, you can browse this in the carousel below. I'm just going to go through it quickly. And then your nice classic white. And then, of course, if you have been around with the Kia Babies brand for a while now, maybe you already even have a set of Swaddle wraps, you probably have the OG, which is the Nordic set, which is our cute little woodland creatures. This really cute pattern. I am so sorry that I just totally forgot about it. Your tried and true, again, original Kia Babies pattern that you can't go wrong with. So if you would like a closer look at those colors and patterns that I forgot about before, please browse them in the carousel below. I apologize. Okay, so just a couple of tips really quick about a toddler room. So if you are getting ready to transition your baby into their own sleep space, just keep in mind that that can be a really bumpy road, and that's totally normal. You may have a baby that has been sleeping in your room that now you feel like you found a really good routine. Oh man, like they are really starting to connect sleep cycles. We're getting like good stretches of sleep. Our sleep is good. And then you move them into their own room and maybe even into a different bed, or you configure their crib differently by like maybe lowering a rail or lowering it to the floor or something like that. You transfer them to a floor bed. That can be kind of traumatizing. Not in the kind of like they're going to talk about this on the therapist couch someday trauma, but I just mean like it can be jarring to them because like, they see their parents, you still really are the center of their universe. And this represents a really big separation from you. Even if it's just they're down the hall, they're across the hall, you are still there, you're still listening on the monitor. And they can know this, but that's going to take time for them to now feel confident and feel safe all over again in a new space. So just try to keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated. Don't feel like it was the wrong thing to do to transition necessarily. Just try to, keep your patience about you, keep kind of a compassionate lens when you start to deal with sleep hiccups again when you've made that transition. Some ways that you can ease that are if your child is a toddler by the time that they are transferring into their own room, kind of think about what they like, what they're into. Do they really love animals? Like my daughter loves dogs. All animals really, but especially dogs because we have dogs. She's grown up around them. All our friends have dogs. So incorporating something like a theme into their room so maybe we change up some of the artwork in here, or, maybe we pick out new sheets that have puppies on them or something like that. Kind of use their personality as a gauge to figure out what's going to make their room really enjoyable, really fun, and feel really good to them. So that it's a place that they want to spend time. Spend time in that room during the day. put them down for naps in that room, but also just have them play if you're able to do that, like on times that they are at home with you. Maybe that's only the weekends if you're, two working parents, which is fine. So whenever you have kind of time with them during the day outside of sleep times, go play in their room, put some toys that they really love in there, put books in there that they really love. Have them play in their bed, and just make it a really like enjoyable, safe, familiar space. And I would even start doing that before I make the transition to then expecting them to sleep in there overnight. So that's a really good tip for that. So with infant rooms, we want to kind of keep them really calm, neutral. If you're, transitioning your child when they're still an infant into their own room, nothing too stimulating. So keep that in mind with the decor. We want things to be like really nice and streamlined for you. If you're nursing in there, if you're pumping in there, if you're changing baby's diaper in there, make sure that things are, easily accessible to you. Make sure it's nice and organized, things like that. But then once we move into kind of toddlerhood, that's when you can really start like having some fun and adding in some like personality and some jazz to baby's room. And that can help them really find that to be an enjoyable space. So there's my little tip with that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I know you're still sticking around for this giveaway, and love that you guys are still here. Again, if you found this kind of content helpful, I know these streams where we kind of dive into content and it's not just all product related, they tend to run a little longer. But if this is something that you enjoy, please share that feedback, because I would love to do more of this, and especially around sleep, right? Since that's my thing. Yeah, if you'd rather just me stick to the products, then let me know that as well, right? Because I want these streams to have value for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our giveaway. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is sometimes when I haven't opened the chat on Amazon Live in a little bit, it's not updated. So I have to just scroll and kind of let it catch up to make sure I'm seeing the latest happenings, right? So I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. So all I'm doing right now is just kind of refreshing it. All right, so let's do, I think we're looking good. Make sure I scroll all the way top and bottom, because again, I want this to be fair. I don't want to miss anybody, but do keep in mind, if you're not the giveaway winner today, we do this every single live stream. Anybody can win at any time, right? There's no way to like be a VIP so that you're favored to win. You can win multiple times. You can be a brand new follower. You just found us today. And you can win the next one because it is randomly selected. So, all right, who's going to go home with our crib sheets? I'm scrolling. And I see, Chris B. Chris, you are our giveaway winner today. Cinda, yes, this is now once a month. It's something that we're totally open to changing, and we could go back to bi-weekly. We could go back to weekly. It really is just kind of dependent on the feedback that we're getting, and just kind of the analytics at this point. Because while we do have like a really great solid crew of people that tune in to every single live stream, and that just means so much to me, and I love like getting to know you guys and hang out with you guys. We do find that like we get a larger audience and like a lot more new kind of viewers coming in when we decrease the frequency. So, if you guys would like to see more of this than just once a month, then, like definitely share that feedback and let us know. But yes, congratulations, Chris. Congratulations. You're going to love your crib sheets. You're going to love them. Let me just show you the pattern that you're going to get one more time. It's the ABC print, and I don't know if you're going to be using them for yourself or if you plan on giving them as a gift, but they're just lovely. And yeah, so let me just tell you how to redeem your giveaway prize. So send an email to ask@kiababies.com. So ask@kiababies.com. I would type it into the chat, but every time I've tried to do that, Amazon Live tells me I'm not allowed to send sensitive information over chat. So yeah, it's ask@kiababies.com. And you will just tell us that you are Crispy, and that you were the Amazon live stream giveaway winner for the crib sheets. And we will get back to you ASAP and get your address, and we'll get these shipped out to you. So while I am still here, okay, so Wyatt wants these more than once a month. Cinda, you love biweekly. I liked biweekly too. I thought that was a good balance myself, was doing them biweekly, because again, it gave us a little bit more time to really kind of come up with what we were going to talk about next. And there it kind of is a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into like creating the live stream itself and stuff, and figure out what products to highlight and all of that. So yeah, I liked biweekly too. So we'll see what happens. That's good to know. And Lanier, you agree biweekly was good. Chris, you think so too? No more 11 p.m., 12 p.m. ones. Did we do an 11 p.m. one? I guess it depends on the time zone. 12 a.m. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Chris, you're asleep during the late ones. I hear ya. Gotcha. Thank you, Gina. Yeah. Right. I gotcha. And so Julianne, who is doing the other ones, I'm pretty sure that she is also based in Singapore. So I think maybe that was just trying to kind of reach a different audience in a different time zone, which is why we were doing those. But yeah, I agree that for you guys, that's really late. I gotcha. Okay, so yes, thank you for this feedback. So helpful. Of course, the team will, once they sign on tomorrow for them, they will see all of this, and then I'll share the feedback with them as well. And yeah, we will figure out the schedule that seems to work best for you guys and that adds the most value. So really, thank you for sharing feedback. Oh, that's interesting. The late ones have more followers in games. It was lots of fun. Yeah. Well, so I actually did one, and Lanier, I think you were here for it. I can't remember. But I actually did one of the giveaway play ones too, where it was like you had to answer the quiz question or whatever. And we gave like a giveaway item away after like each little game that we would play. That was my first time doing that one. That was probably like a month ago, maybe at this point, and that one was super fun. And so I would love to do more of those. I totally agree. Chris, yes, Kia Babies is based in Singapore. Singapore headquarters, and then they also have like a secondary headquarters on the West Coast here in the United States, in California. Oh, you won the diaper bag. It's nice, isn't it? I love the Kia Babies diaper bags. So yeah, that was a really nice giveaway item. 40 people, that is really good. Bye, Victoria. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know we're still just hanging around chatting. Yeah, okay. So more of those fun kind of like marathon game ones. I loved it too. I loved keeping it like really nice and light and just having fun with you guys. Oh, Chris, yeah, the sleep diaper bag is my favorite. My husband loves it too. That's funny. Okay, so Chris, I just want to make sure that you heard the information about how to redeem your crib sheet set. And if you need me to repeat it, let me know. Hi, Ronnie. It's better late than never. Please join us for the next one. Okay, great. I'm glad you got the information, Chris. Again, we're going to be doing these at least, the next one. I think we're moving to just doing them the third Monday of every month. I don't know if that's difficult to remember, but you guys, if you're following, you'll get notified about it. But yeah, we may move back to a bi-weekly based on your feedback. I'll be sure and let you know. So, All right, friends, I'm going to go make some lunch for my daughter. It's actually a little bit past lunchtime for her, but I just enjoy hanging out with you guys so much. You guys have really become like a part of my parenting community too. Especially like we're still in pandemic time. So I know like getting together with friends and family is still difficult for a lot of us. Maybe we're not living close to like, our typical tribe. Maybe we're kind of the first in our friend group to have a kid. And so I really love that this has kind of become a nice community for us all. And I really do enjoy just chatting with you all. Um, Thank you. I'm glad you found this insightful. That's a really sweet thing to say. I would love to, again, do more of these kind of content based live streams in addition to some more of the fun game ones. Maybe we'll come up with a schedule to like alternate out whether we're going to do kind of information heavy and then we'll, lighten it up with a play marathon thing. But yeah, I will see you all next month. And then I'll let you know if we decide to move back to biweekly or whatever. So thank you so much for being here. Mwah. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, friends.